Hey guys, it's Small here with What If Deku Was the Mask? Redo, Part 2. So let's start off. We last left off, All Might and other top 5 heroes had made a deal with Deku. But before they left, Endeavors wanted to meet Deku without the effect of the mask. So the mask told him, sure. But as the mask started to take off the mask, he started to spin until the mask was off, revealing Deku. Endeavor looked at him, he thought, look at something so small, weak, have transformation quirk so strong that he's wanted by the entire US government. But as Omai was shocked, because he just realized that this kid is the same kid that asked me if he could become a hero with a quirk. And Omai walked to him and tells him that he was wrong for saying he can't be a hero without a quirk. The truth is, anybody can be a hero. As Lego starts crying, Best Genius asks, What? Then when Deku looks up and says that he never expected that the mask to help him become a hero. With this, only the other heroes left. But Deku begins to go back to his room. He asks, what the hell is this mask? Because the mask told the heroes that he had transformation quirk. He knows that is a lie. So what is actually the mask? Every time Deku looks up for information, it seems shrouded in mystery. It might be an ancient tribe god, or the mask of the god of mischief, Loki. When Deku looks for information, he realizes that the mask parallel is unreadable. He's taking nuclear explosions to the face, destroyed buildings to avoid him trying. He noticed that most was all murderers. Because of a video, I made the entire police force sing a song called Cuban Pete. As Deku realized that the entrance time is in 8 months, so he needs to train. Deku knew the power of the mask is kinda OP, so he decided to train his mind, so maybe he can control the mask better. But that didn't work. So now he trains the normal body, so he can get put up a fight without the mask. After the 8 months, he said he gets buffer and way smarter. Since the hero has cautioned to keep Deku's secret, and since Caution wants to be a hero, so he had thin ice since everybody told him he was a racist. Since the hero asked Caution to keep Deku's secret, he didn't say anything. So he kept it a secret, but Caution always told Deku that he would beat him one day. But like I said, after 8 months, Deku's not ready. Stick catches them. As Deku starts walking, he looks at the mask the mask to hold back. But Deku doesn't know that this doesn't matter, because he can't change the mask. He then trips. Before he falls, Yorika grabs him and apologizes for using her quirk on him. Deku says it's okay and starts to walk. After Deku takes the return step, he thinks he did pretty good on it. But he also thinks that if he let the mask take it, he probably would have gotten a perfect score or have his test destroyed. As the mask walks into the President Mike's lecture, this moment to himself. So making being passed without the mask, and the blue-haired kid stands up and asks about the 4th robot, and points to Deku, tells him that he should have been playing with toys, and should have left his mask at home. Deku tells him quietly that he needs the mask for his quirk. This Mike tells him to calm down, and explains the reason. Well, he did mention the 0-pointer. Yet, but as everybody walks, Deku looks at his mask one more time. Then he sees Yorika. He tries to go to her. Then Levi stops and tells him they should be ashamed for trying to ruin her chances. So Deku goes back to his spot at the door. But as the door opens, he's confused. Then Deku says, "Let's do this." He puts on his mask and creates a tornado that distracts everybody. Before Levi can say anything, he hears, "It's party time." Why? Cause I gotcha. That's when the mask says, "What's up?" That's when the guy says that he can't be. But Gil says, it's the mask. The number one most wanted vigilante and serial killer. Mask says, he get up to talk to his fans, but he gets some lug nuts to bust. And then he runs so fast he gets a shockwave leaving everybody in the dust. The mask then stops in front of a group of robots and says, "Customer service is here." Then pulls out a bunch of cunts and destroys the entire neighborhood. Then runs into another alley, puts on a sexy robot costume, and whistles over some other robots. Then pulls out a giant mallet and smashes them all. But Deku destroys robot after robot. The other students are struggling to find some. As we cut back to Netsu, he says that they might have to decrease the minimum points need to pass if Deku's going to keep this much. That's when Lord R. And I forget his name, the tech hero, says that this guy is somehow immune to the laws of physics. Then Aizawa says, that's when they all hear, he's sexy, he's smart, and one of a kind. And then you see a bunch of female masks. Then the screen cut to a cheerleader art group cheering for the mask. And Aizawa gets up and tells them, there's one problem with Deku's ability. When he uses his quirk, he becomes batshit insane. So we cut back to a shirtless Deku with massive pick and 8-pack and sunglasses, and they see Hammer Pants surrounded by hundreds of robots that are destroyed beyond repair. It says that this is even 1% of his power. The tipping his shades. He then jumps onto a building and looks at his partner and asks, what's next? He hears a rumble, another rumble, then another rumble, then shatters like some glass. That's when he sees the 0-pointer. His jaw drops so hard that it goes to the floor and somehow hits his head. He then begins to walk away, then his ears gets bigger. He hears, help! Then he slings his eyeball like a telescope and sees Uraka. He says, damn plot. He starts running. He gets to Uraka. He says that she's carrying debris. So he pulls out a card jack and lifts it off her. But he picks her up. He starts running, but then he stops. He said he forgot something. Then pulls out a banana in his head and throws the peel away. And when the robot runs it over, it flies in the air and falls on its back. As Deku tells the other students, the mask shows up in a nurse outfit. And then another mask in a nurse outfit shows up. Then one in a doctor clothing shows up. And he says he needs to clean a wound. He then tells the nurse to give him alcohol. Then the nurse gives him a bottle of wine. But said that he meant rubbing alcohol, but save that for later. Then he gives some alcohol advantages to the mask. Then puts the cloak on her, pulls out a splinter, and lets her walk away confused. Mask then says, well, work done. Then he walks into the sunset with one kissing. It's barely noon, how is there a sunset? How is he doing this? But the mask gets home. He looks at the mirror and says, today was a good day. He takes off the mask off, making Deku look at himself, and he didn't kill anybody this time. But as he falls over and goes to sleep, he thinks to himself, he should really get it better under control. But as he thinks this, he falls. Something falls from the sky and lands in a trash can. But as you zoom in on the trash can, a red head grabs onto the rim. When you see a man in the trash can, it's Deadpool. That's when Deadpool asks, what the hell am I? Am I another death battle? What the hell am I doing here? So then a book falls on the head. That's when you realize that the book is a script. And Deadpool gives this guy the middle finger and says, F you, infamous. Deadpool then throws the book and says that he gets that he needs to find this Deku kid. As he starts walking, he could be heroes appear in front of him. He just gives a laugh and says that he gets the time to use these hentai powers. Then he pulls out a sword and moves so fast the heroes barely had time to react before getting sliced. And Deadpool just laughs and says he loves anime and manga style fighting. It's so OP. We skip to Deku's first day. As Deku wakes up, he realizes that he's late to school. He uses a mask, but decides against using it. But as he walks into the classroom, everybody sees him, but they don't really care. When he sees him, he runs up to him and introduces himself. If he's actually the mask, and that's when everybody looks at Deku. The mask has a green face, not to mention, he's a circular and over 100 years old. Kojin just stands up and screams, Deku! He then walks up to him, but now that he's in UA, they can fight. Before he can, a girl pumps into Inzugu and apologizes. Girl says it's okay, but Yurika then looks around and asks if the rumor is true. The mask joined 1A. And Aizawa said, it is true, but they shouldn't be gossiping. They want to be heroes. To make it, Deku asks, who are you? That's when Aizawa tells the class that he's their teacher, and then they put on their P uniform. But everybody walks outside, still looking for the mask, and think the rumor wasn't true. Aizawa tells them they're going to do the quick assessment test, and he decided that Deku should throw the ball, and he got the highest score. He was about to throw a ball. Deku was about to throw the ball. He said that he needs to transform. Deku tells him that he can't control it. He's sort of insane. As Captain says, he isn't cared. That's when Deku puts on a mask. Before he can put it on, Aizawa tells him that Aizawa takes his mask and tells him that somebody can just take his mask and without something covering his face. Can't just form, correct? And he gives it back to Dick and tells him to transform. This comes confuses everybody. They're like, he has a mask to transform. The other things, that his quirk is pretty similar. They both need something to help them. He needs sugar, he needs a mask. But as Kami said, that he hopes this kind of person cool like his. Mo says, that people will probably be scared. Before anybody could ask, Deku puts on his mask and starts spinning. That's when the mask appears saying, "Smoking!" So when everybody freaks out saying, "The mask?" Mina says, "I thought he was just dead. I thought he was dead." Kami says, "He killed millions of people." Mina says, "He heard he charmed Mountain Lady at midnight into threesome." Right, but Azawa activates his quirk and tells him that there's more than one mask. Couldn't cares. Then Deku hears the youngest mask and also the kindness. And as he says this, mask transforming in back and turning into a baby and a superhero. Then Aizawa then throws him a ball, tells him to throw the ball. Mask tells him, "Okay." The minute he says this, Aizawa hears a speaker say that up to bat is the mask, and the pitcher is the mask. Then shows a mask in a baseball uniform, a pitcher spraying some tobacco. Aizawa then hears the crowd cheering. Then he sees the entire army with the mask cheering for Deku. And the pitcher throws the ball so hard, then it lights. Right before the mask can hit it with his bat, it starts moving in slow motion, which pisses off Sawa and says, "Now he's not dealing with slow motion today." As when the mask hits the ball, and so far, it twinkles. But then, as he turns around, he gets hit in the face by the same ball, and as he falls over, everything goes black and white, and the words "wasted" appear. But as he stands up, he asks, "What's the score?" As I turns around and realizes that his meter just playing Neon Cat. As I says, "You are annoying. You are a problem child. I'm gonna hit you." As the rest of the test goes on, the creatures just find out lots of physics, including Zawa incapable of reading a score and more tired and angry. When there's a speed test, he runs so fast he lifts a trail apart before running to a wall that he painted as a tunnel. When there's a jump test, from so far he goes around the world and lands on caution. It was behind him when he jumped. Instinctive, he flicks so hard his clothes rip off and creates a shockwave. Then skips the skid tip so hard that his score says infinity. He continues on with the rest of his test score. He's getting higher. As he finished the test, the mask realized they're not on a score. That's when one will ask, "Why is he not on a score?" And the sunset tells him, "Because he's too strong, nothing on earth can match his strength." Because he could just say no to logic. Many people wonder, what is his power? The main theory is that his reality is just a picture or a cartoon to him. And he has a wrist and change reality with his powers. Kirishima asks, if he's able to do this, why does he kill innocent people? That's when Deku says, takes off the mask and explains. That was transforming. Like everything he wanted to do without his power does. If anybody is mean to him, the mask will get revenge, even when the original doesn't want to. Someone said, the best quirk just needs his face color to activate it. And without cloth or a mask, he can use the power. As they talk, everybody introduces himself. And after people find out that it's really nice without his mask activated, they just start being more nice. But then I thought tells everybody that they're doing elections for the class period. Then later says they should do vote, but after they vote, everybody noticed that Deku got the high score. That's when Deku asks why. Also Mina says that if Aizawa and the government says it's true, then all the time the mask did the bad things. That was a different person. And he should be the strongest person in class. The teacher says that he's too strong. That says that he being strong and hilarious is so manly. But everybody leaves for lunch. The alarm goes off. And the students start acting crazy. Degu's pushed against the wall. And Deku looks outside and sees the media. But as Degu says that it is the media, a gunshot is heard. So when the camera falls and everybody looks, and some of the students look at the window. Who else is standing there but the Deadpool? The reporters turn away, but Shigure asks Kiriki, who the hell is that? Deadpool announced himself. According to the skip, he's supposed to have a rematch with the mask. Soon Blood and Zara show up, but as Blood uses blood to contain Deadpool, and Zara uses quirk, Deadpool shoots the blood and breaks it free. That's when Aizawa uses his scarf, and Deadpool pulls out his sword and cuts it like butter. And when Vlad tries to use his blood against Deadpool, he cuts at it like it's nothing. That's when he asks, what the hell was that sword made of? But as Vlad stabs him, and his hand stops him from shooting, he pulls out another gun and shoots Vlad. And Vlad sees that his wounds are healing. And Vlad asks, Aizawa to rest his quirk. And Aizawa says that he's charmed by his immune. That's when Deadpool points a gun at Aizawa and tells him that where the hell was Deku? He then pulls the trigger before Aizawa can get headshot. He gets swept up by a Prince Charming mask, but then gets thrown back to the floor. That's when Deadpool sees the mask. As he sees the mask, he tells him he's finally put the mask on. That's when the mask says that he needs to be good as he put it on. That's when he appears right in front of him. He tells him, fighting Deadpool is pretty good amusing, especially after death battle. And this is going to be fun. The man says they're going to have to wait for the next part, saying no cliffhangers. But like I said, I'm going to end the video here. So like, share, subscribe, and check out my Discord and Instagram in the description below, so you can go beyond plus ultra.